W8VPV. Repeater.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2371 with the release date of Friday, April 7th, 2023, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A difficult de-expedition takes on a humanitarian goal. The ITU opens an area office in India, and hams in Australia celebrate the solar eclipse. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2371 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron in a TMW. Our top story this week takes us to a foreboding, uninhabitable granite islet in the North Atlantic Ocean, where a trio of de-expeditioners are just weeks away from activating that site. They hope to set a world record while turning that desolate location into a symbol of hope. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us about their plans.
When they land on Rockhall Island in a few weeks, Emil Bergman, DL8JJ, Nobby Stiles, G0VJG, and expedition lead Cam Cameron hope to be the third de-expedition team to activate the island, and they will use MM0UKI as the coordinate. They hope that their 50 or 60-day stay starting in June will break the current world record of 46 days on the British territory set in 2014 by Scottish adventurer Nick Hancock. Rockhall is one of the world's most wanted islands on the air and bears the designation EU189. The team isn't just looking to set a record. With donations and sponsorship and the team members' own investments in the trip, they're looking to raise £50,000 for charities. The Army Benevolent Fund and Royal Navy and Royal Marines charities. These charities assist veterans and their families as well as the families of serving personnel. This challenging journey to a remote spot 230 miles west of Scotland and 430 miles south of Iceland follows the expeditions in 2005 and 2011. Knowing that there are fewer than 400 claimed QSLs from previous expeditions, the teams expect the airwaves to be busy. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Tornado season in the United States is again upon us. In the past week, we've had reports of fierce storms that spawned possibly dozens of tornadoes from the south and the Midwest into the Northeast, killing at least 32 people. Deadly storms also hit the central U.S., including Arkansas and Missouri. Joshua Carroll, AA5JC, Assistant Section Emergency Coordinator for Skywarn and Aries for Arkansas, reported that during the March 31st tornado in his state, 112 operators were involved in net activities during the storms that brought devastation especially to the western part of Little Rock. It wasn't just ham radio nets, which included Echolink and All-Star, he told AR Newsline. Our thought was, use what works. His team also collected and sent reports to the National Weather Service that they received through texts, Facebook, Twitter, GMRS, and WinLink. In talking with the forecast office after the event, Joshua was told, "You guys were on fire." They indicated that 3 warnings were issued based on these reports. Lives were probably saved. This is another example of ham radio doing what it does best. So until all else fails, use what works. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Hams in Chicago are celebrating the journey of the beloved ferry that arrived in the city from Canada 40 years ago. Oh, what a family history it has. Here's Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
The MV Abigwite is a ferry that once made many journeys across the Northumberland Strait of Canada. It carried passengers and cargo connecting Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. Now, in modern times, it carries memories. For George Dewar, VY2GF, there are memories of its christening in Quebec in 1947 by his grandmother, Catherine, and its arrival in Charlottetown on Prince Edward Island. For Wayne Anderson, VE3UWA, it holds the memories of his childhood trips on the ferry nicknamed the Abbey, which some members of his family worked on. The vessel was taken out of service in the early 1980s, and in 1983 sailed to Chicago to become the new home of the Columbia Yacht Club. Hams who belong to the Columbia Yacht Club Amateur Radio Society have been making their NBT calling QRZ. Perhaps the biggest memory it will be making next is the special event being planned on board the Abbey. Station K9CYC will be on the air on the weekend of April 15th and 16th, marking the 40th anniversary of its arrival in Chicago. Club member Keith Klimick, KD9NEG, told Newsline that while the boat provides operators with its view of the city skyline, hams will be calling QRZ on another kind of wave. Even as it's kept afloat by its busy future, it will always remain buoyed by the fond memories so many recall back home on Prince Edward Island. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Congratulations to the International Telecommunications Union, which has opened an area office and innovation center in New Delhi, India. According to a report on the Oscar India channel on YouTube, the ITU's presence in the Asia-Pacific region is intended to help advance technology and improve innovation in India and across South Asia. The ITU is a specialized agency of the United Nations, dealing with information and communications technologies. The ITU Secretary General, Doreen Bogdan Martin, KD2JTX, was present at the opening in March. This is Jim Meechan, Seville to VHF.
There will be no more satellite launch plans for Virgin Orbit. Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, tells us why.
Virgin Orbit has shut the doors of its satellite launch operations, laying off 675 workers after 6 years in business. The company said in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that its inability to secure sufficient funds has made it unable to continue operating. Created as a subsidiary of Virgin Galactic, Virgin Orbit's mission was to launch CubeSats into low Earth orbit from beneath a commercial airliner that had been modified to accommodate its proprietary satellite launch system. The company did not have a history of great success with the system, known as Launcher 1. Virgin Orbit's most recent failure was its attempt to launch a rocket on January 9th from Cornwall in the UK. The company CEO later said that the problem may have been caused by a $100 part that may have become dislodged in the second stage engine. The launch had been a much-anticipated event for Spaceport Cornwall, which has been competing for the UK to enter the global space market by becoming a home to satellite launches. This is Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
On the weekend of April 8th and 9th, one of the operators in a DX contest honoring cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin will be a former cosmonaut himself. Here's more from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
You can be sure that Alexander Volkov, U4MIR, will be doing his best as one of the special stations in a memorial DX contest on the weekend of April 8 and 9. Alexander has something in common with the pioneering cosmonaut for whom the Yuri Gagarin International DX contest is named. He's a retired pilot and cosmonaut, and is a former commander of the cosmonaut detachment at the Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in Star City, Russia. Other operating stations will be representing some of the places that are significant in the life of Yuri Gagarin, who, on April 12, 1961, became the first person to fly in space. Stations will be representing his birthplace and the site where he landed after that historic flight. Operators will also be paying tribute to the evolution of Russian space travel by operating at significant locations in the space program's development. The contest is being held this year in memory of Konstantin Kachatorov, RT-3A, who became a silent key in April of 2022. Konstantin, a well-known contester and active amateur, had served as director of the contest, also known as the Gagarin Cup. The contest website is available at the link that appears in this week's text version of Newsline. I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WB3GXW repeater in Silver Spring, Maryland, and simultaneously on Echolink conference server node 6154 on Saturdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Congratulations to Rhea Jairam, N2RJ, who has joined the board of directors of Amateur Radio Digital Communications. She recently stepped down as director of the ARRL's Hudson Division, a post she held since 2019. Rhea is also a well-known presence on social media with her own YouTube channel and hosts a weekly radio show on shortwave station WRMI. The solar eclipse this month will have many hands in Australia thinking not just of the sun, but the moon. John Williams, VK4JJW, tells us why.
When the moon passes between the Earth and the sun on the 20th of April, observers in Australia will welcome what's being called Ningaloo eclipse, a name given to this hybrid solar eclipse from an Aboriginal word. At about the same time, amateur radio operators in Australia hope to be busy celebrating Australia's other link to the moon. They're planning to get on the air from an historic location that has ties to the Apollo 11 moon landing in July of 1969. That landing, and so many other missions, was achieved with the assistance of the NASA Carnarvon and Overseas Telecommunications Commission tracking station in Western Australia. The US and Australian government worked to establish the station, which opened in 1964 and became a vital communications link between Earth and the NASA astronauts on the Gemini and Apollo missions. From April 17th to the 23rd, hams including Dan, VK6NAD, and Michael, VK6TU, will be activating a site between the Cassegrain horn that was used during the mission and the 30-meter dish. They were still awaiting confirmation of the call sign that they want to use, but they're hoping for approval of VI6CRO. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
Throughout Australia, hams with a love of the natural world are celebrating a program that helped them combine nature and radio in that country 10 years ago. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, tells us how they're doing it.
This is a big year for hams throughout Australia who are involved in the worldwide flora and fauna program. The Global Awards Scheme, which celebrates parks and other natural settings, began its regional VKFF section in Australia in March of 2013. Activators have been on the air with the special event call sign VI10 VKFF. According to the WWFF website, more than 80% of the nation's flowering plants, mammals and reptiles are unique to Australia, along with most of its freshwater fish and almost half of its birds. Although many hams have embraced these activations because of the low, high noise floor away from the home QTH, others simply want to travel around Australia and add amateur radio into that journey that helps them discovering nature. Hams who are hunting for contacts from home rather than activating don't need to submit logs. Activators are very eager to make these contacts. Be listening for VI10 VKFF, which will be active throughout the year. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
An international team of de-expeditioners is making plans to visit a coral atoll in the Pacific that hasn't been activated in 10 years. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, brings us up to date on their agenda.
One of the next big DX-expeditions in the works is well into the planning stages by the Perseverance DX group. It's been 10 years since a major activation has taken place on the uninhabited Clipperton Island, which carries the IOTA designation of November Alpha-011, is a protected environmental reserve that is the only French possession in the North Pacific. Its last major activation was in 2013, the same year that Perseverance DX group was founded. Next year, an international team of experienced operators will be on the island using the call sign Tango X-Ray 5 Sierra. They expect to be on the air from the 18th of January 2024 to the 2nd of February. Previous de-expeditions by the group have included South Orkney Island, Victor Papa 8 Papa Juliet in 2020, Ducie Island, Victor Papa 6 Delta in 2018, and Chesterfield Reef, Tango X-Ray 3 X-Ray in 2015. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
The death of AM radio has arrived at the Ford Motor Company in Detroit, Michigan. Ford spokesman Wes Sherwood announced it will not be installing AM radios in any 2024 vehicles, both its gas-powered and electric models. He confirmed the plan to the Detroit Free Press newspaper. He said that Ford will continue to make AM radios available in its commercial vehicles because of contracts the company has. Ford's move comes amidst the push by a number of prominent lawmakers and former officials of the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency. Opponents of the carmaker's elimination of AM radio say it is an integral part of the nation's emergency notification system. For our final item this week, the story of a Pennsylvania ham who is still walking on air after a recent out-of-this-world contact. Amateur Radio Newsline's Mark Abramovich, NT3V, has the details.
Welcome to the International Space Station. Over.
And with that response from NA1SS, 73-year-old Dave Fix, N3AMY, from the Reading, Pennsylvania area, says he felt like an excited 8-year-old kid at Christmas as he began a specially arranged amateur radio contact with astronaut Nicole Mann. It happened in the early morning hours of March 4th as the ISS orbit passed above Berks County in eastern Pennsylvania, just north and west of Philadelphia, for about a 6-minute window. Fix gives a lot of credit for the contact to his longtime friend, also called Dave, who personally knows the first Native American woman in space and used to vacation with her and her family many years ago. It was Fix who suggested to Dave the idea for a ham radio contact. His friend liked the idea so much that he quickly reached out to Nicole's father, Howard, who proposed it to Nicole over a private family conversation channel to the ISS. She was all for it. But Nicole didn't get a chance to get her ham ticket before last October's liftoff, so she needed a little assist to set it up and then initiate the contact.
That was world famous Koichi Wakata, Japanese astronaut, that helped us make this connection over.
Indeed, Koichi Wakata, KI-5TMN, acted as control op, and Elmer for his fellow astronaut. Fix and Dave and his wife Jan were ecstatic when they heard Nicole's voice clearly coming from the speaker over the mobile radio in the car. Dave, the family friend, kidded Nicole about why she never blinked the lights at least once as the station passed over Pennsylvania those many times while she was aboard.
I don't know what you mean, Dave. I'm always rocking my wings every time I fly over P8. I look a little closer over.
And as quickly as it began, the contact window started to fade, but not before a grateful astronaut made her final transmission.
Okay, thank you, Dave Fix, for helping to set this up. We really appreciate it.
Toodaloo, Nicole. I'll never forget this. I don't think Dave or Jan will ever forget it. Nicole certainly won't. It is once in a lifetime.
I'm Mark Abramovich, NT3V, in Reading, Pennsylvania.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have the opportunity to make news if they aren't already doing so by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are open now through May 31st. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news you think Newsline would be interested in? We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to ABC.net Australia, Amateur News Weekly, Amateur Radio Digital Communications, ARRL, Australia Communications and Media Authority, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, Detroit Free Press, Dmitry Kolenchuk, R3GM, DXWorld.net, Engadget, FCC, 425DX News, George Dewar, VY2GF, Keith Klemick, KD9NEG, National Public Radio, Oscar India YouTube, QRZ.com, Perseverance DX Group, Date.com, Wireless Institute of Australia, Worldwide Flora and Fauna, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, visit our website at arnewsline.org. And know we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, leave a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron in a TMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
W8WKY, timeout.
The Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association hopes you have enjoyed this broadcast of Amateur Radio Newsline. We hope that you will stay tuned to the W8WKY repeater for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net beginning at 8 p.m. No club affiliation is needed. All licensed amateurs are welcome to check in, and I personally invite you to check in. For the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, this is Kilo Charlie 8, Hotel Delta Papa, KC8, HDP, Jerry from Shreve, standing by for the net.
W8WKY.
The weekly Serenette, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe, starts in 5 minutes. Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
CQ. This is W8WKY calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. We meet every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the W8WKY repeater, which is located in Doylestown, Ohio, and operates on a frequency of 147.39 megahertz, and we use a PL tone of 114.8. This is an open net, and all licensed amateurs are welcome to check in. This is also a controlled net, so all traffic should be directed through net control. Emergency or priority traffic may break into this net at any time. Your net controller this evening is Jerry, that's Juliet, Echo, Romeo, Yankee, but my personal call sign is Kilo, Charlie, 8, Hotel, Delta, Papa, KC8HDP. But during this net control uses the club call of Whiskey 8, Whiskey Kilo Yankee. I will take a short break and be back with net announcements. If you have not paid your SARA membership dues, please do so as soon as possible, as they are currently overdue. SARA's membership year is April 1st through March 31st, and we still have a few members who have not renewed their membership. Remember, dues represent over 90% of the club's annual revenue to support our members and execute on our core mission and events. Your dues fund our world-class repeater system, as well as our fun events such as Field Day and the Family Picnic. Your support of SARA is invaluable, and we ask that you continue to support our organization. See W8WKY.org for more information and links to renew your membership or join us for the very first time.
W8WKY.
Our next club meeting will be April 20th at the Eagles in Wadsworth. Join us at our new venue for our meeting, and Jeff Royer, W8TV, who will discuss radio frequency interference in the shack. Mark your calendars for April 20th. Plan to attend and bring a friend. Meeting details are on W8WKY.org under the Activities tab. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's annual Hamfest Electronics and Computer Show will be Saturday, April 15th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Amedio and Sons Party Center, 48 East Bath Road in Cuyahoga Falls. More information is available on the SARA webpage, W8WKY.org, and on the CFARC webpage, CFARC.org. That is all the web announcements I had. Net announcements I have. Are there any other stations with net announcements? Hearing no further announcements, we will start this evening with in and out check-ins. I'll take the round of in and out check-ins, and then we'll go to regular check-ins, so those that want to make comments and try to answer a trivia question. So that anyone that would like to check in and out to the SARA Weekly Club Net, please come now using your call sign, name, and location.
KA8GKG. Q8 Sarah Told Sarah. Martin Wadsworth. In and out.
KD8JNX Brooker Rittman. I'll just be in and out.
November 8 Delta Romeo Delta Don Marshallville. In and out.
Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Mike Oscar Fred in Maslin. In and out.
Kilo Alpha 8 Mike November Tango Tom in Canton. In and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carry at Portage Lakes, in and out.
Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo Phil in
on Canal Fulton. No traffic. Have a nice evening, Jerry. Good to hear you. Sounding good. WP3K clear.
Kilo, Foxtrot, 8 Golf. Brian in Norton. In and out.
AC8N, Don, Springfield Township. In and out.
Kilowatt 8, Alpha Mike X-Ray, Deck in Akron, Firestone Park, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David, Sterling, Ohio, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Tango Lima Bravo, Randy and Ribbon. I'll be in and out. Just want to say thanks for running that, Jerry. You do a great job. 73, God bless.
Okay, let me pick it up there. Okay, first on the list of in and outs, I have KA8GKG, and then we had a collision, and I did not get who was after that. In between KA8GKG and KE8FSS. Who was that, please?
Might have been me, I'm sorry. It's Kilo Delta 8, Sierra Mike Oscar, Fred in Maslin. Thanks for doing a net. No traffic tonight.
Thank you, Fred, for re-identifying. I have you in and out, KD8SMO. Was there anyone else in between the first three that I missed? Was there anyone in there with Fred that I missed?
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton, in and out.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Okay, I'll go down the list I have so far. I have KA8GKG, KD8SMO, KE8SFS, KD8GNX, JNX, N8DRD, KD8SMO. Oh, I got you twice there. I guess I did catch you there. Okay. KA8MNT, W8CCM, WB3K, KF8E, AC8N, K8AMX, KE8IME, and KE8TLB. Randy, thanks for the comments. Do we have anyone else that would like to check into the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net as an in and out check-in? If so, please come now using your call sign, your name, and location.
November 8th, Whiskey Sugar, Bill in New London. In and out.
KE8 URQ, Roger and Canton. In and out.
We have added N8WS and KE8URQ in and out. One last time before we start regular check-ins for in and outs. If you'd like to check in and out, please call now. Hearing no more in and out check-ins, we will move on to regular check-ins. Anyone that would like to make comments or try to answer the trivia question, this is your chance now. Any regular check-ins to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net, please call now using your call sign, name, and location.
This is Kilo Delta 8,
Bravo,
Sierra Lima Golf,
Mike Oscar, 88MO, Echo Link Mobile in Oakwood.
This is KE8QX, Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, Joe in Akron.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform India Bravo, KE8 UIB, John in Maslin.
Please check in November Tango 8 Delta NT 8D Dave and Copley.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay, I'll pick it up there. Okay, so far for regular check-ins, I have KD8SLG, Nick, AB8MO, Andy, in on Echolink, K8VQE, Joe, KE8UIB, John, NT8D, Dave, and WO3X, John. Did I miss anyone in that group, or are there any corrections? Okay, we'll go again for more regular check-ins through the net. If you'd like to check into the net as a regular check-in, make comments, try to answer the trivia question, please come now using your call sign, name, and location.
Kilo Echo 8 Echo Hotel Golf, KE8 EHG Mike and Navarre. Whiskey 2 Juliet Lima Sierra W2JLS John in Fairlawn.
Please check
Kilo Charlie 3 Quebec Foxtrot Charlie in New York.
JJ,
Mike.
Boring, Tennessee, and oh my goodness, this ungodly hour.
W8WKY.
Okay, we have added KE8EHG Mike, W2JLS John, KC3QFC, and N9TN JJ. KC3QFC, you and JJ doubled. Could you please come back with your name, please? I have your call sign, I just missed your name.
Roger, Roger. Name for Kilo Charlie 3 Quebec Foxtrot Charlie is Mike. Back to net control.
Thank you, Mike. I now have your name next to your call sign in the log. Okay, one last time before we go to trivia, would anyone else like to check into the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net? If so, please call now using your call sign, name, and location.
N8PZD. The name is Clark. I'm in Cleveland.
Okay, we've added N8 PZD, Clark, up in Cleveland. Good to have you on the net as well. Okay, well, didn't hear any other check-ins after Clark, so we will go to the trivia question. Okay, this one's about satellites. Until a Canadian geosynchronous satellite named Anik 1 was launched on November 9th, 1972, there were no working satellites orbiting the Earth for this purpose. Was it Alpha, A, global positioning, Bravo, monitoring atmospheric trace gas content, C, Charlie, mobile aeronautical communications, or D, Delta, a national TV service? Once again, until a Canadian geosynchronous satellite named Anik 1 was launched on November 9th, 1972, there were no working satellites orbiting the Earth for this purpose. What was its purpose? Once again, A, Alpha, global positioning, Bravo, B, monitoring atmospheric trace gas content, C, mobile aeronautical communications, or D Delta, a national TV service. Okay, let's now go to the top of the list with KD8SLG. That's just Nick. Good evening, Nick. Thanks for checking in with me this evening. What comments do you have for us, and what do you think the answer to the trivia question is?
W8WKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Jerry, and everyone on the net here. I don't like being first for trivia. I'm gonna go with television. I believe that was Delta, but that's television. I'm gonna go with television. So that's my choice there. Get that out of the way right away because otherwise I will forget. Let's see. Tomorrow morning, I'll be sitting in the big chair on the barometer net. So if you're up dark and early, stop by and say hi, please. I would appreciate that. It'll be fun. I guarantee it. Later on then at 1 o'clock, we'll be linking up with the Boredom Breaker net. So if you can get here, you'll be able to get there. And that's a good time. We link up for the first hour now on Wednesdays. And I will be sitting in the big chair there. Dustin's taking the day off. He's got something else to do. So I get to run that one as well. And that one might not be as much fun after the barometer net. Hi. And then don't forget the Beacon net tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, 9:30 early check-ins. And I believe I'll be there for that one as well. So there, I plugged a bunch of nets for W8WKY for tomorrow. And I feel pretty good about that. Other than that, got out on my e-bike this afternoon. Got some sunshine in my face and some wind in my hair, but no bugs in my teeth. So I'm a happy camper. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. This is KD8SLG, back to net control.
Okay, Nick, I have your trivia question answer as Delta. And thank you for plugging the nets, and you do a great job at net control, so those nets are all lucky to have you as net control tomorrow. And, yeah, it was a great day for a bike ride. So thank you for checking in with us, Nick. Always great to hear from you, and we'll catch up with you again real soon. Hey, let's go to AB8MO, Andy now, checking in. Andy, good to hear from you as well, another Beacon Net person. Go ahead with your comments and what you think the answer to the trivia question is.
KC8 HDP from AB8MO, traversing the metropolitan Solon. Yeah, I figured I'm not even going to bother trying to get in on RF because Oakwood Village, well, they call it Oakwood Village, but I guess it's an incorporated area. Once you hit Cuyahoga County, that starts getting pretty dicey getting into the repeater, so I wasn't even going to try. And of course, I'm going away from the repeater, so that made it even worse. Good to hear you. You're doing a good job as net control, and I really mean that. You're basically ticking all the boxes as what I consider to be a good facilitator at the net control station. You're doing a very good job, Jerry. And let's see, get the trivia question out of the way. Like Nick, I will forget otherwise. I'm going to go with B Bravo. I think it's a little early for GPS. I think that satellite TV was already deployed, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, so I could be completely wrong. But I guess I'll try B Bravo. And Nick, I'll try to get in there as backup there tomorrow in the morning there on my way to work. Try to shoehorn my way in, and of course, as I always try to do, get in on the Boredom Breaker net during my lunch period. And yeah, I'll probably come back for round 3 for the Beacon net tomorrow. When I don't know. There for Dustin, or maybe you already have. Alrighty, hey, I'm digging these longer evenings. It's great to have a little twilight at 20 after 8. No complaints here. My gas light just turned on. I need gasoline. Back to you, Jerry. Everybody have a great evening. This is AB8MO, just hitting Geauga County.
Well, very good, Andy. I have your trivia question and answer as Bravo. Good to hear from you on the net. You came in just fine through echoing. Good job there, Andy, and thank you for the kind words, and you do a nice job at net control as well. Very efficient, nice job. So thank you for being here, Andy. Great to have you on the net as always. You drive safely. We'll next go to K8VQE. That is Joe. Good evening, Joe. Hope you've had a fine day and enjoyed the day. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for the net?
W8WKY, this is KE8 Victor Quebec X-ray. Got a little bit wrong there before, but maybe I'm not coming in too well. Anyway, hello Jerry, and hello everyone else on the net. I've been watching other people's dogs all day, most of which have been very misbehaved. Anyway, my answer for the trivia is C, Charlie. Anything that has to do with airplanes, that's what I pick. Anyway, I will give it back to you, W8WKY. This is KE8VQX. 73, everybody.
W8WKY.
Well, you are coming in just fine, Joe. I just missed the echo in the call sign. My error, apologize for that, but thank you for the correction. And I have your trivia question answer as Charlie. Getting a good variation of answers here. Thank you for your check-in. Great to hear you, and have a great rest of your day. Well, I'm going to re-identify this as the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. We meet here every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on the W8WKY repeater. Net control this evening is Jerry. That's with a Juliet at the beginning. My personal call sign is Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8HDP, Jerry from Shreve. And during this net, I'm using a club call of Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee. Okay, let's now go to John, KE8UIB. Good evening, John. Good to hear you on the net as always. What do you have for the net this evening, and what do you think the answer to the trivia question is?
KCH, HDP, KE8UIB. Good evening, Jerry, and everybody out there on the net. And I don't think anybody's picked A yet, and that was kind of my guess, so I will go ahead and take A for Alpha as far as the trivia question goes, and hope everybody's getting out there and had a chance to enjoy some of this nice weather and stuff. And it was really great to get out of work today and come home and got a couple minutes of yard work in before I started doing some studying on the general. With that, I just hope everybody's having a good evening and stuff, and you guys know me. I'm living that $5 dream a nickel at a time, especially on sunny days, that's for sure. And with that, this is KE8UIB. I'll hand this back over to Net Control. 7-3, y'all.
Well, you're right, John. It was a beautiful day. And great to hear that you are living the $5 dream a nickel at a time still. That is so awesome and clever. I wish I was that clever to come up with something like that. But anyway, great to hear you, John. I have your trivia question answer as Alpha, and so somebody has the right answer, so very cool. Thanks for checking in with us, John. Well, let's now go to the main cat herder for the barometer net, NT8D, Dave. Great to hear you on the net, Dave. Thanks for checking in with me. What comments do you have for the net, and what do you think the answer to the trivia question is?
Howdy there, Jerry, everybody on the net, and any listeners. I hope everybody's having a good start to their week. What a gorgeous day. Oh, my goodness. And we got more to follow. I had a good tuning this morning. That went well. I got some boat work done. Put a couple of pictures up online. And, what else? I drilled a hole in the bow of the boat so I can get something to attach it to the trailer here. So we did a little bit of work around here, and I was going to do the lawn, and I looked at the weather report and said, well, it's not going to rain till Friday or Saturday. no sense mowing it now. I'll wait till right before the rain. So I'm going to put that one off to the last minute. But it is gorgeous. I think we're going to do bonfire this week. I might even go out there and do it later on. I might not do it tonight, but I was going to... Probably should be out there talking on the HT next to the fire pit. That would have been the smart thing to do. Hope everybody's having a good one. Nick, thanks for picking up the net tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. And if anybody else is interested in doing some net control stuff, you can test your toes in the water here at W8WKY. I used to work in television. I'm going to go with D Delta there, Jerry. And I think one of the interesting parts of the clue is geosynchronous. So I think that's probably an important part of the question. Back to net control, W8WKY from NTAD.
Well, it's great to have you on the net, Dave. Good to hear from you. And you're right, it would be an excellent evening to be sitting out by the fire pit and talking on the HT. But we're just glad to have you no matter how you came in. So thanks for joining us, Dave. And yes, I want to encourage everyone to, stick their foot in the water at net control. You never know when you might be called upon to be net control during an emergency or incident or something. So that's not the time to be learning net control. So, get your feet wet and get some experience being net control. I have your trivia question answer as Delta, Dave, and thank you once again for your check-in. Good to have you on the net. Well, let's go to our favorite W0 station, W03X. That is John. Good to hear from you, John. Thank you for checking in with me this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for us?
Good evening, Jerry, and all on the net. This is W03X. Thanks for announcing about the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Hamfest this Saturday. And I heard that somebody is studying for a test. So I'd like to mention that there will be volunteer exam sessions at that Hamfest. And after you pay your entrance ticket, there is no fee for the test because they are laurel sessions. So hopefully somebody on the net here will take advantage of that and take one of the tests. Let's see here. Regarding the trivia question, the first person to answer it, I think, had the right idea. So I'm going to go with that. That was D Delta. Let's see, for television. So with that, back to the net. W8WKY. This is W03X.
Well, thank you, John. I have your trivia question answer as Delta. And yes, the Cuyahoga Falls Hamfest is this Saturday. I am planning on being there, and I hope everyone else will too. And yes, take advantage of that Laurel test session. So there's no test fee for a Laurel session. So, get in there and get upgraded. I was part of a Laurel session in Mansfield this past Saturday. We had 2 Sarah members show up in Mansfield to test, and that was Jason and Jim. Jason upgraded from technician to general, and Jim upgraded from general to extra. It was great to have them there, and they were surprised to see me. They said it was great to see a friendly face there, so it was really awesome. So, get in there, get your first license or get upgraded. And thank you, John, for being here and for all the information you provide to the net. And once again, I have your trivia question answer at Delta. Thank you, John, for checking in with us. Well, let's now go to KE8 AEHG. Mike, good to have you on the net this evening, Mike. Thank you for checking in with me. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net?
Good evening, Jerry, and good evening, everyone on the net. Doing an awesome job there. There was an answer, something about land masses or something like that. I was going to take that one. I forget what letter it was. John, UIB, is going to be taking his general test, he says. So I wish John all the luck, and hopefully he pass. We get another general out there. That'd be great. So, but enjoying the nice weather, putting up a garage door right now, the new opener. The new one I put up was a little too short, so I had to get an extension. Oops, my bad. Oh well, she still got in the garage. No big deal. 7-3s, everyone. Stay safe. KE8 EHG. Back to net.
Well, thank you for joining us on the net this evening, Mike. I need some clarification on your answer for the trivia question. I'm wondering if you were thinking of alpha, which is global positioning. The answers are A, global positioning, B, monitoring atmospheric trace gas content, C, mobile aeronautical communications, or D, a national TV service. So could you give me some clarification on your answer?
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought you said something else there. Let's go with alpha. Let's try that. Let's see what happens there. So, all right, 7-3s. I'll be waiting for the answer.
Okay, Mike, I have your answer as alpha for the trivia question. Thank you for taking the time to check in with us this evening, Mike. Great to hear from you, and hope to hear you on other nets as well later this week. Thank you very much. Well, let's go to Fairlawn now to W2JLS, John. Good to hear from you, John. Thank you for checking in with me. It's always great to hear from you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net?
Hey, Jerry. Good evening on your ears, sir. And yeah, it's always good to check into a net where you're hosting or have shown up otherwise. So yeah, pleasure to hear you tonight as I tuned in. I honestly I didn't catch the year that you mentioned. If you did mention one, I don't know anything about. I think you said the Anik or Anik 1. So I'm going to have to just guess. I like the choices A and D. There seem like there are an awful people going D, including some folks that tend to be right frequently. So I think I'll throw my hat into the D ring. Yeah. As for me, it went to the for any of you Indians fans out there, I went out to the game last night and watched them whoop up on my Yankees. It was. Honestly, it wasn't a beating. It was the Yankees were winning the front end of it, and the Indians came back and emerged victorious. But I will say it was a beautiful night to be at the game. The weather was nice for this time of year, but it really felt like neither team was there to win. It was, for my money, it was a lackluster performance from both sides. Nothing really to gossip about. If any of you boys are listening, no disrespect. I mean, you guys won. You did a good job. Ultimately beating the Yankees, and it just felt like baseball in the springtime. Like people are still getting their heads together. Anyway, back to you, Jerry. W2JLS.
Well, very good, John. I have your trivia question answer as Delta. Yeah, it usually takes players about a month to start really getting into things into the season. So, and the weather usually in April a lot of times isn't all that great. So yeah, it seems like they do have a little bit of trouble getting going, but that'll change soon. And it was a good game. It was a close game all the way through. So it was an exciting game. So anyway, glad you enjoyed the game. And it's great that you got to go in person. That is awesome. Anyway, thanks for your comments, John, and for answering the trivia question. And thank you for being on the net this evening. It's always great to hear you on the net. Thanks once again. Well, hey, let's go now to KC3QFC. That is Mike. Good evening, Mike. Great to have you on the net as well. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net?
Good evening. This is Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie. We'll start off with trivia. My answer is going to be D Delta for television. As far as comments, we'll start off wave a hand at the familiar call signs that I heard coming down through the list. It's good to hear them out there. Myself, let's see, I just got a replacement Yaesu 991 Alpha on Saturday. Took it out in the field because it was such a beautiful day Sunday, and I made 2 contacts into northern Italy on 10 meters. That was working pretty good. I was really excited about that on a multi-band antenna that does 10 to 160. I was really impressed. As far as today, the weather has really been beautiful. During my 10-hour reset up here in Binghamton, New York, I didn't have to idle the truck to stay warm. I sit there and left the truck off, left the windows down, and it had a nice cool breeze blowing through, and boy, that felt wonderful. But seems like the wind has picked up tonight and wanting to blow around this trailer on me a little bit. All in all, hope everybody's doing well, and we'll try to check into tomorrow's net. Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie, back to net control.
Well, very good, Mike. I have your trivia question answer as Delta. And thank you for taking the time to check in with us while you're out on the road. Great to hear from you. Don't hear from you a lot. I don't personally anyway. But anyway, when I do hear from you, it's good to hear from you. And thank you for checking in with us while you're on the road. Great to hear from you. We'll hope to hear you again on the air soon. Hey, let's go to Tennessee now with N9TN. Even has TN in the call sign. That's very cool. JJ in Tennessee, thank you for checking into the net this evening. What is your answer to the trivia question, and what comments do you have for us? N9TN. JJ, are you still with us? Well, nothing heard from JJ, so we're going to move on to the bottom of the list. Last but certainly not least is N8PZD. That is Clark up in Cleveland. Boy, it sure was great to meet you a couple of weeks ago, Clark. Enjoyed that, having lunch with you, and it was great to meet you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for us?
Well, it's just a repetition of what everybody's been saying. This weather is amazing for us here in Northeast Ohio at this time of year. It's gorgeous. I don't know if I got any sunburn, but I had an awkward situation yesterday. I broke off a spark plug in my van, and I ran around looking for different methods to get it out, and I finally got it out this afternoon. But I did spend a lot of time praying over that motor and out in the sun. So I don't remember what lunch. Well, sadly, it might have been the lunch last week, but I didn't do too well after that lunch. I have just begun to get active again. Anyway, I'm going to answer B. I've had a couple of girlfriends that have said that they don't leak any of that stuff out loud, but those gases come out quietly. And that's what I think. That's why I think they named the storms. Some guys' names, some girls' names. They flip-flop back and forth like that. So that's my answer to the trivia question. Look forward to seeing folks on Saturday. Back to net control from Nobody 8 Purple Zucchini downtown.
All right, very good, Clark. I have your trivia question answer as Bravo, and I hope you get to eat some peppermint ice cream real soon. That's good ice cream. And it was great to have you on the net. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your comments. We'll catch up with you again soon, Clark. Well, that is the bottom of the list I have so far, and we do have some extra time, so I am going to ask for more check-ins to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. We meet here every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on the W8WKY repeater. At net control this evening is Jerry. That's with a Juliet at the beginning. My personal call sign is Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa. That's KC8HDP. I'm Jerry from Shreve. And during the net control uses the club call of Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee. So with that, if anyone else would like to join us on the net, please come now using your call sign, name, and location.
Whiskey 8 Tango Mike, Chi-Chi's in Summit County. I'll be in and out.
Well, King Charles 8, Fox Queen Victor, Mark and Aurora, Portage County. Oh, Shreve, your name. I know you're Shreve. I know Nick's from the same area. And Dustin, KCFQB.
W8KOC, good evening, Jerry and everybody else here on the net. I'll be in and out this evening. Good to hear everybody. And I'm stuck out here in Sandusky, so I want to thank Nick, KD8SLG, for covering my absence tomorrow morning on the barometer net. Take care, Jerry. Wonderful job as always. 7-3 to you and everyone else. W8KOC, back to W8WKY.
Kilo 8, Papa Juliet Whiskey, K8PJW, Philip in Twinsburg.
This is Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Bravo Al Mansfield.
Okay, I'll pick it up there. Okay, we've added a WW8TM. Choo-choo's good to hear you. I have you marked in and out. I have KC8FQB. Mark, thank you for joining us as well. WA8KOC Fred, thank you for the in and out check-in. Good to hear you as always, and you do a great job yourself. We have K8PJW Philip and KC8HB Owl from the Mansfield area. Good to have all of you here. Is there anyone else that would like to join the net? If so, please come now with your call sign, name, and location.
NTAD, recheck.
NTAD, Dave, go ahead with your recheck.
Thank you there, Dustin. Yeah, I missed this during the announcements times. I read this in the Copley Connection that came out this weekend. Copley is going to attempt to reconstitute their community emergency response team, or their CERT organization. So if you're interested in becoming a member of Copley CERT, you can download an application at the website copley.oh.us. I know we do have a couple of Copley amateurs in the area, so I just wanted to start getting the word out. Thanks very much there, Dustin. Back to W8WKY from NTAD.
That's great information to know, Dave. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and hopefully some people will sign up for that. Thank you once again, Dave. Is there anyone else that would like to check into the net? If so, please come now using your call sign, name, and location.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Charlie X-Ray Oscar, WB8CXO, Mike in Monroe Falls.
Well, very good. We've added WW8TM, Choo-Choos. Good to have you on here. KC8FQV Mark, thank you for being here. WA8KOC Fred, who is in and out also, thank you. And then we've also added K8 PJW Philip, KC8 HB Al, and WB8CXO Mike. Thank you all for joining us. I will reread the trivia question for those who have just joined the net. Until a Canadian geosynchronous satellite named Anik-1 was launched on November 9th, 1972, there were no working satellites orbiting the Earth for this purpose. What was it? And the answers are A, Alpha, global positioning, Bravo, or B, monitoring atmospheric trace gas content, C, Charlie, mobile aeronautical communications, or D, Delta, a national TV service. So there you go. Mark, KC8FQV, thanks for joining us on the net this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for us?
All right, KC8FQV. Well, you know, them all sounded pretty good, but I want to take Delta. Well, Delta. And it was a nice day out today. Took a shelf down with my mom. She put it in the store, and then we had to stop and get some more pins because there was a few missing, and there was more shelves than there were the little brackets to push in the thing to hold the shelves up. So out there, we got stuff to eat. And when we came back home, I did some nets earlier in the morning. And I did a phone call. What did I call? And it was, I can't recall where I called. I did a phone call. I don't remember what it was. I did. You know, but everything else is going good. So, you know, we'll see some of you guys down at the Silver Falls Ham Fest this weekend. And I think there's going to be another one down at Tuscarawas. I think it is a couple of weeks. I think maybe the 22nd. You know what? The amazing thing is you know, TVA, they talk about them one-tank trips. One time they went down to the chocolate, London chocolate, I think it is. And like, geez, oh man, I drive down there, well, not driving to there, but my sister's in Green, so it's a stone's throw away when you get down that far from Aurora. You know, I travel to our meeting. And some of us, you know, travel from the other way, Nick and you know, you and that are down a little further south. It seems all so far apart, but then once you start putting it together, the big jigsaw puzzle of the state and the country, it all sort of comes together. We'll send it back to net, KC8FQV.
Well, it sounds like you had a good day of shopping today, Mark. Thank you for checking with us, making comments. I have your trivia question answer as Delta, and gee, I had something else, and now it escapes me. Oh boy! But anyway, oh yes, now I remember what it was. The Cuyahoga Falls Ham Fest is next Saturday. Then the following Saturday on the 22nd is the Tusco Ham Fest down in Tuscarawas County. It always used to be held in Strasburg. It is no longer in Strasburg. It is now at the Tuscarawas County Fairgrounds in Dover. So be aware of that. And they put on a great ham fest in Strasburg, and I'm sure it'll be even better now at the fairgrounds. So thank you for bringing that up as well, Mark, and thanks for checking in with us once again. Well, Fred was in and out, so we now go to K8 to PJW, Philip. Good evening, Philip. Good to hear from you. How are you doing? What comments do you have for the net, and what do you think the answer to the trivia question is?
WAWKY, K8PJW. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Jerry. Thank you for doing the net. You're doing a fabulous job, as usual. So it's good to hear you. Again, it's a beautiful day today. Got some stuff done outside and also some stuff inside. So it was a nice combination, and wrapped it up with a scout meeting tonight, which I just got back from. That's why I'm a little bit later than usual at the nets, but that's fine. I just had that on my history lesson not too long ago about that satellite, and I'm thinking it was weather related. So I don't know whether it was Alpha or Bravo. Whichever one had to do with the weather, I'm going to go with that one. So put me down for that. So everyone have a great evening. Talk to you again on the Barometer Net tomorrow. This is K8PJW, back to the net.
W8WKY.
Okay, thank you, Philip. I'm going to ask you for clarification on that. I think you're meaning Bravo. Do you mean monitoring atmospheric trace gas contents? That's the only one I can think you might think has to do with weather. Is that your answer, or do you want something else?
No, go ahead and put me down for Bravo. That's probably the closest one out of the four that you gave me. So I'll go ahead with that one. Back to you.
Okay, Phil, I have you down for Bravo, and once again, it's really great to hear from you. Thank you for taking the time to check in with me, and maybe we'll work together again on a VE team soon. Thank you, Philip. Well, hey, let's go to the Mansfield area now with KC8HB, Al. Good to hear from you, Al. Haven't heard a lot from you lately, but it's good to have you here on the net this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for us?
Good evening, everybody. KC8HB. Well, Canada is a big country. I wonder if they would really put that much emphasis on TV. I don't know. Seems like to me aeronautical communications, aeronautical safety would be my guess. I don't know. I'm not trying to influence anybody, so I'll go with C. Over the past, I think it's been about a 9-week period, I've had cataract surgery in both eyes, and today was kind of like my final checkup, tests and everything to see how everything turned out. I've gone to the eye doctor a lot, but good news, my right eye ended up 20/20, and my left eye ended up 20/25. That's probably the best vision I've had in the last 30 years. So I'm really pleased with it. The world looks like a whole different place. It's amazing what they can do, and the surgeries don't take very long, and not much to it. So I'm really pleased with that. And I mentioned this once before. I think it was on the Beacon Net. If anybody's considering this, go ahead and get it done. For crying out loud, you don't know what you're missing if your eyes have deteriorated to a point that mine had. And that's about it. It's been a while since I checked in, and I thought I'd jump in tonight. So catch you all later. KC8HB73.
Okay, Al, I have your trivia question answer as Charlie C. And congratulations on the successful surgeries. That is awesome that it came out so well. Most people's do. And it's great to hear that you are enjoying the great vision again. And yeah, most people, it really makes a huge difference for. So thank you for sharing that with us, Al, and great to have you back on the net. Hope you start checking in regularly again. Thank you once again, Al. Well, let's now go to WB8CXO, Mike. Good to hear from you, Mike. Great to have you on the net. Hope you enjoyed the beautiful day. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what comments do you have for us?
Hello, Jerry, and good evening to the net. It's good to be here. don't have too many comments. I really should take notes with all of the browsing I do on the internet. I think every day I run into something new related to ham radio, and I should take notes so when I have a net I can possibly, wanted to make sure we're keying the repeater up, possibly share those. Right now we're, in addition to listening to the net, we're investigating an ELAD FDM Duo SDR transceiver to see if it's interfaceable to transverters in a good fashion, in a good way. Any radio will interface to a transverter. Some do it better than others. Other than that, I think the answer to the trivia question is D as in Delta, and we'll send it back to you, Jerry. Thanks for running the net tonight. 7-3 to all from WB8CXO.
Well, Mike, I hope you find the answers you're looking for on the net. I'm sure they're there somewhere. It's just finding them. And I have your trivia question answer as Delta. And great to hear from you, Mike. Thank you for taking the time to check in with me this evening. Well, that is the bottom of the list, and we are approaching the top of the hour. So I will go to the answer for the trivia question. Okay, the question once again was, until a Canadian geosynchronous satellite named Anik-1 was launched on November 9th, 1972, there were no working satellites orbiting the Earth for this purpose. What was it? And the answer was Delta, a national TV service. We had 7 correct answers. Anik-1 was the first satellite to provide national TV service. Anik-1 operated in the C-band and could carry 4 color TV channels, 3 of which were dedicated to the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company. Anik is an Inuit word meaning little brother, and operated until July 15th, 1982. So there you have it, the correct answers. Of course, Nick was the first one to answer the question, and he got it right. We had Nick got it right. NT8D Dave had it right. WO3X John. W2JLS John also. KC3QFC Mike. FedEx Mike. KC8FQV Mark. And WB8CXO Mike all had it right. Well, before we close the net, does anyone have any other questions, comments, or rechecks for the net?
Kilo Charlie 8 Delta Echo Oscar. Benny in and out there, Jerry. Mobile.
Well, very good, Benny. I have you, KC8DEO. Benny, I have you in and out. Would Brenda like to be in on the net as well?
Well, you could put her in. She's at home on mobile. I'm just trying to make my way home as we speak. So, but yeah, you can check her in if you'd like. KC8DEO.
Very good, Benny. I have KC8DEP Brenda in and out as well. Safe travels on your way home, Benny. Thanks for checking in with me. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, rechecks, or late check-ins for the net?
KE8HNK Elmer, I'll be in and out tonight. Have a bright and blessed evening.
Okay, we have KE8HNK Elmer in and out as well. Thank you for checking in with us, Elmer. Safe travels to you as well. We had 36 check-ins this evening, and plus net control makes 37. I'd like to thank everyone who checked in. Thank you for taking the time to check in with me. It was great to hear from you if you were in and out. Great to hear your comments, and thank you for answering the trivia question if you are a regular check-in. It is such a pleasure to do this net, and and it's all because of you who check in. Thank you so much. So with that, for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, this is Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP. Jerry from Shreve saying 7-3 to 1 and all.
W8WKY.
give me your number or telephone number. That way Jerry and I got it. We'll see what all you do have.
Roger. My name is Jimmy, and my nickname's Jet. The phone number is 330-248-3936. Phone number is 330-248-3936.
All right, Jim. Very good. Very good. All right. Yeah, I'll give you a call, and we'll see what all you do have. Antenna-wise, what antennas do you have?
Geez, there's all kinds of stuff over my house, beams and everything. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. It'd be nice for you guys just to come over and look at my garage and look over some of the stuff what you want, too. I mean, what you're interested in. There's a lot of stuff.
Okay. Well, I know where Atwater is. I just, in relationship to where the nursery was, whereabouts in Atwater?
Off of 183 off of 14, 183 go out past the railroad tracks. And
didn't really spend a lot of time looking, but when I was looking, the things were not very good.
To the railroad or south?
Head south for about a mile and a half, turn right, and turn on Greenbauer.
Back to net. Yeah, DX Engineering does have the tickets on sale.
Okay, Mark. Yeah, make the Hamfest there Saturday. Kings Island will still be there. Most of the Hamfest getting a little far and few.
WB8YYS and the group N8MP, just kind of hanging in there. Today was a nice day, like everybody said. Enjoyed working outside. Actually, was out cleaning up from the big wind that we had last week, I think it was, where it slammed my garage, the people's door in the garage over, which broke the lamp that was right next to it and broke the two, whatever they're called, plungers, I guess, I don't know, and replaced them and the lamp, and so now I'm back in business there. But it was just nice being outside and being able to do it outside. So that's about it. She got into Albania last night on 20 meters, so it was kind of fun. Other than that, and I forgot to check into the Ohio emergency net tonight. Just dawned on me. Today is Tuesday. That's the problem when you're retired. You just don't know what day it is. Anyway, with that, back to net. This is N8MP.
Okay. Tuesday nights at 7:45, I believe that is, on 3.584.5, Olivia 8-500. If you send me your email address, I'll remind you of it.
I need a reminder, huh? Okay, is that N8MP? And by the way, my email is on Shreve.
IQ, good evening and welcome to the Tri-County Traffic Training Net. Go right ahead.
This is WB8SIQ, and the other guy was still talking a little bit, but I think you turned it back to me. Quick question for you. I'm in Vermilion, and it's the first time I've been able to get into your machine. I understand it's been improved, and I'd like to know what my signal for what it sounds like from here into there. And I've always
glad to help you when I check into the HFNet or whatever. So I am a liaison and so on like that, and especially from the Burning River Traffic Net or whatever. So it's good to hear you guys, and you sound good here in Vermilion. WB at SIQ.
Okay. Not sure what they did to the machine. Clear, no problem at all.
PL tone on this machine, please.
Okay, it is 110.9. You must have it turned on, or we wouldn't be talking.
I suspect maybe so. I may have it in here, but I'll have to check it out. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. 7-3 is all. Good to hear. WB at SIQ.
Okay, going back to see us again. Good to have you with us. All right, let me take the last one here before ID. NHJKO, Joe, how are you and Denise doing?
Good evening, Net Control, and good evening, everybody on the net. This is NHJKO. We're faring pretty good. Denise is doing okay, and I as well. An interesting day, to say the very least. At least for me. Went out on my usual POTA run up to the park, and it just couldn't make more than 2 or 3 contacts. Break for time. Then I wound up moving over to 15 meters. Just did it on a lark. And then I hear a station calling out, no POTA information. And then I reached out to them, found out that they were a station running, I think, a couple hundred watts out of Scotland. So, and here I am answering them back on 35 watts. So, really good day. Otherwise, quiet evening. Looking forward to seeing the grandkids tomorrow. And with that, I'll send it back to Net Control with best wishes to everyone. Please take care. God bless, and 7-3. N8JKO, back to Net Control.
Okay, Joe, congratulations on that two-way, 35 watts. That's pretty good. And evidently the band must have been wide open that way. Those other guys had to use more to get it to you. But, yeah, 35 going across the pond, that's really good. So keep up the good work. All right, folks, I'm at the bottom of the list. This is the Tri-County Traffic Training Net Tuesday night edition. WB8YYS Net Control. Looking for any additional stations with or without traffic, like check in and join us tonight.